That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Okay.
You might.
That's
Great. Okay.
Great.
Great.
Perfect.
So please pay attention to her, and then she'll give some great use case examples of using AI with XR, and then Tama will be showing you how some tools you can use as well. So over to you, Allison.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. I might have to speed up a little bit just because we had a little bit of technical difficulty earlier. So we're trying to fix it. Now it's already 11:10, but I'll try to cover as much as I can for the next 50 minutes. Alrighty, let's get going. So a little bit about me. Mark already made an introduction. I'm a lecturer at RMIT University. I've been teaching for 2 years. I've been teaching programming boot camps and mixed reality. So for research, I've pretty much do how to sort of like use XR to augment human abilities, so give people supposedly quotation mark superpower and see how we can sort of like, turn those physical ability to something more virtual and something more helpful. So I've been focusing on sort of like a teleportation. If we're in different location, how do we sort of work together? Amplification, how to sort of like amplify the social environment we're in, and also quotation mark mind reading. Don't feel like you're really getting read. Your mind was being read by me. No, I was just trying to use some machine learning trained models to understand biosignals and to support people with a better empathy. So previously, I've also worked at Microsoft, Xbox, and Meta as product managers, content managers, and research scientist intern as well. So that's a nutshell of myself. So before we get into the actual quotation mark hardcore content, let's just watch some videos about the AI and smart glasses, which is basically the AI plus AR work together. Obviously, some of them you've probably already seen if you are sort of like into tech, but I will play some short videos for you to take a look first. This is Meta Orion. It's not in the market yet. We will play another video. This is already in the market. Let's just play. Oh, no, it's not playing for some reason. It's okay, we'll skip it. But anyway, this is another AI plus AR glasses that's already available. It basically evaluates your sports performance. And for example, if you play basketball, you play golf, and you kind of want to know how well your performance is, you can ask some questions, and the Meta glasses would be able to sort of like evaluate the speed, the power, the how your waves, and all the other sports relevant performance metrics for you. So the next one, hopefully this one plays or not. There you go.
With you by my side. Where you at? Come on, tell me where you at, yeah. With you by my side. Where you at? Come on, tell me where you at, yeah. With you by my side. Come on, yeah, yeah. Live one day at a time.
Ooh, Carmen's in town. We should go out tonight.
Hey, Dot. Carmen loves live music. Where can we take her? SF Jazz? Great.
Hey, we have some time. Why don't we all go for a walk?
Okay, let's go. Hey, Dot. We have time before Carmen gets here. What's a good place to sit? I love croissant. Let's do la boulangerie.
Hey, Dot. Can you help us get to the SF Jazz? Ah, looks like she beat us here.
Hi, there you are. You made it. What's the plan?
Yeah, there's a cool set tonight at 7.
Thanks for making the plan.
Dot's the one doing the heavy lifting. Thanks, Dot.
All right, so that's I think it's a new glasses by Snap chat company. They kind of work with the, the Dragon something. I can't remember exactly the name. They work together to produce this AI plus AR glasses. They have some sort of like an AI agent sort of like interacting with you. I think the good thing about it is navigation ability that's provided. So it's aware of the context, it's aware of the environment around you, and you look at those streets and then sort of like the architectures, they would be able to identify, if you're going to the concert, where exactly the concert is. So it's sort of like a new way of, doing the wayfinding for you with the power of AI and plus AR. So the last video, let's see if it plays. Oh, it does.
We're building Android XR. What about emerging form factors that could let you experience an AI assistant in new ways, from headsets to glasses and everything in between? This is Samsung's Project Muhan, the first Android XR device. With Google Maps in XR, you can teleport anywhere in the world simply by asking Gemini to take you there. You can talk with your AI assistant about anything you see and have it pull up videos and websites about what you're exploring. Imagine watching them play in the MLB app as if you were right there in the stadium, while chatting with Gemini about player and game stats. Now, let's turn our attention to glasses. Glasses with Android XR are lightweight and designed for all-day wear, even though they're packed with technology. A camera and microphones give Gemini the ability to see and hear the world. Speakers let you listen to the AI, play music, or take calls. And an optional in-lens display privately shows you helpful information just when you need it. Let's see how they work in the most hectic environment possible right now, backstage at I/O.
Hey everyone. Right now, you should be seeing exactly what I'm seeing through the lens of my Android XR glasses. Text from Shram that just came in. Let's see what he said. All right, it's definitely showtime, so I'm gonna launch Gemini and get us going. Send Shram a text that I'm getting started and silence my notifications, please.
Okay, I've sent that message to him and muted all your notifications.
I've been curious about this photo wall all day. Like, what band is this, and how are they connected to this place?
Try to see if I can fast forward, but my view is a little different.
Shoreline Amphitheater, which are off
video the way I want it. Oh, I can play a little bit of it. So the last bits is where you can see the real-time translation between two different languages. That's also one of the cool.
मेरी पूरी दुनिया खुल जाती है और मैं सब कुछ समझ सकती हूँ आसानी से.
This is just the start. I can't wait for you to try Android XR for yourself, and we'll have lots more to share in the months ahead. Thank you.
Alrighty, I skipped forward just because it's such a long video and I don't want to waste all of your time. You can sort of like watch online later on. So that's also the Android XR video, their XR glasses they were trying to make to combine AR and AI, plus some part of the VR as well. Obviously, the selling point, I think, in this demo is not only the wayfinding, but also some sort of like a real-time translation. So obviously the other guy was talking in, I can't remember on top of my head if that's Hebrew or Farsi, and the lady was talking in, I think Hindi or Tamil. Please correct me if I was wrong, but they can do some sort of like a real-time translation to understand each other. So that's what the Google was trying to accomplish as well. So that being said, do you guys have any sort of like see anything like in common? Obviously, we've seen some wayfindings. Anything else you guys want to sort of like point out that you've seen common in those demos? Yes, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else? Yep. Voice input. Other stuff. Yep. The wayfinding navigation stuff. Like you guys pretty much covered everything, the speech command, the conversation with the AI agent, as you said, the speech input, and also the content related information. For example, obviously the sports video didn't work But basically, that's a famous golfer, which I don't play golf, so I don't know. But he was basically asking, the weather, the speed, the wind speed, so he can hit the ball in the right spot. And then there's also weather-related, route-related, navigation, language translation, so on and so forth. So obviously, speech, AI agent, and contacts are the three biggest things currently the market is trying to hit. Real-time collaboration, we saw a little bit of it over there on the bottom left, where Mark Zuckerberg is playing some sort of a game with the other person in real time. So collaboration is part of the hot topics. Obviously, what about the domain use cases? So we've seen some general things. We've seen daily use, we've seen sports performance, navigation, wayfinding, and also translation. But how about, in specific domains? Because I've heard from earlier your self-introduction talking about you being in psychology, some of the healthcare system, and how do we use AI plus XR in those domains? So here are some examples I kind of want to introduce you guys to let you know, yes, they can be used in your domain on top of the things or scenarios Mark has already mentioned. So obviously, we can use that for emotion companion or empathic virtual avatars to basically remind you how you feel about it today, whether or not you want to do certain stuff, whether or not you want to skip certain things. We also have a task assistant. So, prisoner's dilemma, which you have two prisoners you are putting into the interrogation, and A says, hey, I will confess. B says, I won't confess. And one of the person walks out free. So in this type of a situation, do we have the AI assistant to help you make decision whether or not you're going to lose, whether or not you're going to be, sentenced, or you're going to be walking out free. And there's also AVI, which is intelligent virtual agent to provide your help, intervention. There's reinforced learning to support personalized agent. So the real reinforced learning algorithm kind of know you a little better during the past, let's say 3 to 6 months of being together with you, knowing all your personal sort of like backgrounds and the things you've done. So they can kind of give you the personalized agent as well. So those are some of the research Mark's team has done before, and also other team in the world that has been done. So for digital health is one of the biggest area people are looking at currently, because we've all had at some point in our life having some sort of like a hard time. It could be some disease, temporary, but long term. But how do we use AI plus AR to sort of like support you in those digital health kind of environment? So that includes, for example, G's project pretty much has developed this this prototype to support you reading in VR. Sometimes people kind of like do weird postures, but then the machine learning detection would be able to tell you, what's the most ergonomical ways or postures for you to read, not too close, not too far, not too crooked, or however you sit. It gives you some sort of like notification how you're supposed to sit in the best posture. And there's also virtual humans to support therapy or rehab. So for example, Tono's project involves developing the virtual humans to monitor the brain injuries patient, to give them some personalized feedback. There's also the link to his project where you can pretty much see it on the bottom right one. There's a virtual agent to sort of like help you, guide you through shopping in one of those scenarios, and how you sort of like react to the different environment. And it's also used for multimodal XAI, which is explainable AI, XAI. It's also context related. So for example, on the top right, there's Xu and his teams basically, wear these glasses, open the door of your fridge and then notice all the vegetables. And with that, vegetables basically picks up, recipes for you to cook tonight. For example, a lot of times we see there's lamb, there's lettuce. What am I supposed to do? I have to figure out the recipe, but the AI will basically provide those options for you to make a dinner easily without too much thinking about it. So here is two small videos we're going to show you real quick as well to see, how that can be combined. One is a concept video, one is a research prototype. It's a little.
Oh, hey.
Bring in Model 5A.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hey. What do you think?
I think it looks great. Let's call in Darren.
Oh, hey guys, what's up?
Darren, we were wondering, could we change the color of the upholstery?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see, how about blue?
Works for me. What do you guys think?
Looks good. Let's do it.
Obviously, this is a concept video. We're not expecting anyone to just make such a good prototype, the remote people, the local people, and the beautiful high fidelity prototype all of a sudden. But this to the bottom right would be more of a research prototype. Also takes months. So we're not expecting people to just make it in 5 days. It's just some of the inspirational videos for you to refer to.
We present Gaze Point R, a context-aware, multimodal voice assistant for wearable augmented reality that can disambiguate pronouns.
Hey, Glass.
Hi, I'm listening.
Can you tell me more about this snack?
Original snack, Orion Pokachin Original Gamja Sung Gamja snack, is a snack made from real potatoes.
Hey, Glass.
Hi, I'm listening.
Can you find me a recipe that uses this?
Rouse homemade natural premium arrabbiata sauce pasta. Ingredients.
Hey, Glass.
Hi, I'm listening.
Can you solve this equation?
The answer to 173 divided by 17 equals is 10.17647.
Hey, Glass.
Hi, I'm listening.
Can you tell me more about her?
Ursula von der Leyen, pronounced Ursula von der Leyen, is the president of the European Commission.
Hey, Glass.
Hi, I'm listening.
Can you tell me more about this event?
UIST 2023 Innovations Participation Opportunity Event is an event hosted by the Association for Computing Machinery Special Interest Group on User Interface Software and Technology.
All right, so you've noticed similar to the top right photos, it basically, look at where you're looking, the machine look at where you're looking at and understand the context, understand what you're pointing at or what you're referring to and give you more information based on the speech command you were given. And some of the speech command can be so simple as dictate languages such as this, and look at this, tell me this. You don't have to explain exactly. For example, you don't know how to pronounce a very hard medical term. You don't have to exactly pronounce it. You just need to look at it and point at it so the LLM would be able to give you the answers you wanted. So that's the explainable AI that's relevant to your context. And let's move on to the machine learning and deep learning personalizing those harms potentially in XR. So obviously we have personalized recommendations. As mentioned earlier, it's actually trained on your behavioral data. It predicts a recommendation for the users. However, it also causes, for example, fraudulent detections, for example, fraudulence for you. So you have to actually detect those fraud potentially can harm your financials, can harm your personal information. So one of the trend would be, for example, if you're interested in looking at it, would be how do we, the security and privacy. So how do we secure our prototypes or our systems that were built based on those deep learning, machine learning trained AI models that's actually super relevant to your personal information. So those are the things we also need to look into if you're interested in building those type of applications to stop attacks, to secure your sensitive bioinformation, to avoid cyberbullying or sexual harassment in a VR environment. Just because VR and AR, especially with the power of AI, is so new and so popular use, the regulation or the relative security is not super developed. So that could also be one of the directions you think of. Can we build AI plus XR application to solve those issues. That could be one of the issues you are looking at in the specific domain. Okay. There's also a lot of Gen AI LLM tools that are available in the market. Tamil will give you a very thorough technical walkthrough in the next hour as well. So obviously, on top of the GPT-4o, we've got DALL-E, which is the image generation stuff. Pika Labs does video generation for you. Deep AI, Leonardo DAI. Leonardo is a local Australian AI firm that's doing pretty well as well. So we have multimodal Gen AI tools for you to use. So those are the things I generated before. I just basically say, hey, give me a dog with the boots and wear glasses looking badass. And then that's what's generated for me. Okay. Again, there are a whole bunch of other, so for example, this one in this case is AI film. We can't even tell the differences nowadays just because, the AI tools are evolving so aggressively in a way. It's hard for us to tell, which is the AI made video, which one's not. Sometimes I saw those from social media, I get tricked as well. So let's see this one real quick.
I think he's near.
Hello again, Lisa Ratano. I need the artifact. Tunoka, this. So you don't want to play nice? What if I let the Empire know about your illegal operation?
I think he's over here.
Vale. Jostlevza.
You can tell Vader about this one, not me.
So it looks like a smushed up every single random videos together, but obviously you can tell from the person it's more AI versus the animators, the animations or other characters are a little bit hard to tell whether or not CGI AI or how that movie is generated. So those are some of the experiments people did online that you can basically see how they make an AI Star Wars film. We also have Gen AI assistant that's you can build into your Unity. So notice this bottom right one was built by, I believe his name is Kentaro. I could be wrong, but he's one of the most highly popular kind of downloaded Unity developers. So he basically built this little plugin in there. You can just put in your AI command. It just generates Unity scenes for you. So seems like, some of the easy developing work can be done by AI as well. Obviously, for the NLP LLM tools, we have GPT from OpenAI, we have Llama from Meta, Gemini from Google. There's a whole bunch of people trying to give billions of dollars to the top AI researchers to work on their own models between OpenAI, Meta, and Google. They were fighting for those talents. So if you're one of the talents, you probably will retire in 5 years to make millions and millions of dollars. Okay, so those are some of the tools that are popular that has been used. It's just autoplay. So again, this is the chart. On the left is the chart somebody made from last year, I believe, to compare all of the existing LLM tools. The right one was the one I used GPT-4o to ask, hey, compare me a new one for the multimodal Gen AI tools and then tell me the differences. So here you can tell from last year, it has been more AI LLM tools, Gen AI tools that are existing or available in the market. And they're from mainly Google, Meta, Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, or whatever the name is, pronounced in the wrong way. So there are a whole bunch of other models available. You can also take a look and see which one might work for you the best. So the current trend, obviously, step guide to support human via XR plus AI. To why do we use it? Why do we need to add AI in XR? Why is this necessary? So basically, the current trend is to understand human biosignals, the implicit inner feelings, especially some things I don't want to talk about. For example, you look at my face, I might look very sort of happy, but inside I was like, oh, I'm delivering a lecture today, do I get people interested? Do I get people annoyed? That would be something I won't tell you, but you can't tell, but it would be something I'm thinking inside of myself. So those things can be sort of like a capture. Those data can be captured by the sensors. And then machine learning and deep learning would be giving you to understand the signals behaviors. If you just say a bare digit, for example, my heartbeat 64, what does it mean? So those models would be able to sort of like process based on the previous data set, and my current, for example, if it's a customized my current behavior, it'll give you a more reasonable explanation of what they are, and also train personalized models based on the experience, based on the behaviors I've always been having for the past, let's say, 3 months or 6 months. And then understand, obviously, we understand the human biosignals. Now we need to understand the human communication as well. This is more explicit. For example, eye interactions with you guys, my body gestures, my intonation, how I talk. Those are all more explicit in terms of understanding how, for example, I talk fast. That probably means it could be I'm just a fast talker, could be I'm stressed out, could be I'm just rushing by the time, anything, including those kind of communication are explicit to tell, how the person is. And then we also need to understand the environment that the human are in, because now we sort of like understand what the human are, but how do we understand the environment? The different environment might change me. So for example, now I'm in front of you guys, I might, be a different person, while I'm in front of all the friends or families, I might also behave different. So those environmental contexts human are in are also different. And then we have, all the things we know, we just want to augment the best experience to support human, because now we not only have all the data from you, from the environment, from the context, we can sort of like build it into XR. That's basically like an integration of everything we can experience, not only the physical world, but also the virtual world, can be just within this environment, can be beyond the environment somewhere else in a remote area. So as things I pointed out earlier that I'm interested is to how to superpower human beyond their physical abilities with those tools. Because we are just human. We do what we can with the limited abilities and limited physical abilities we have. But how do we use technology to make ourselves better, perform better, or do things that the way we are slightly different than what we usually are. Okay. So to summarize all of the examples I just mentioned, I have 4 case studies from my students that I want to showcase. They are not commercial level, they are not one of those commercial level products you should see, because obviously we're in a summer school, so we want to, winter school. We want to build something within 5 days time frame. We can't really do, the multi-million-dollar commercialized ones, but we can definitely achieve what we want to achieve with those use cases that I showcased to you that are done by, undergrad to postgrad level students. So before jumping into those use cases, I want to quickly mention what the basic AI is in XR. Obviously, Dr. Leah Son and Tamil will explain more about the AI, because they're actually in the AI area versus I'm in XR. So they will explain more about it. I will just do a very top level kind of going through those information. Because we have a limited time, we only have 20 more minutes, so I'll go through them really quickly, but they will provide with a more fundamental kind of a solid understanding. So again, those are the high level things I'll mention: the AI unsupervised learning, supervised learning, reinforced learning, more foundations from Dr. Leah Son. I think it's today, she moved to today, not tomorrow, and also technical details covered by Tamil in the afternoon as well after lunch. Generally speaking, what is AI? What is ML? Those are the most used terms you guys have been hearing forever. So obviously, AI is just a simulation of human intelligence in machines, enabling them to perform tasks and typically require human intelligence. But beyond human intelligence, these tasks including reasoning, learning, problem solving, understanding the language, perceiving the environment. And again, with that chart, you see that's AI in general, but then machine learning is part of the AI in the smaller circled inside. So machine learning is a subset of AI. It focuses on algorithms and statistical models that enable computer to learn from the data to improve their performances over time without being explicitly programmed for every single task. So the examples including those I've mentioned earlier, the virtual assistant, recommender system, for example, Netflix or Spotify would be one of the things you use on a daily basis based on your likes, based on the most frequent songs or movies you've watched, they will give you some recommendations. And self-driving cars and fraud detections, as mentioned earlier, chatbots, GPTs, those are all the examples we see on a daily basis. So quickly, machine learning, we're gonna not go down to the details just because of the time limitation, but notice I've circled it out from the top chart that we seen earlier. So within machine learning, we have supervised learning and unsupervised learning. The main difference is whether or not it's being labeled. So if it's labeled, you have an output. The algorithm knows exactly if the positive would be those sentiments, negative would be the sentiment in the middle, and ambiguous ones would be the yellow ones you tagged. So before they train a model, they know exactly what the label is. So you get an output of, what a negative, positive, ambiguous terms are for the sentiments. Versus unsupervised learnings, you don't, the algorithm doesn't learn from the guidance. It basically recognizes the patterns. So for example, from the bottom ones, you've noticed you have circles, triangles, and rectangles. They're all in different colors. So there are two ways to categorize them. You can categorize them by colors. You can categorize them by shapes. So again, there's no guidance. You basically learn from the patterns. Same thing as the other example over there. There's a really good comparison between supervised learnings versus unsupervised learnings when you know what a joker is as an input before you feed the data into the model, and you know exactly how joker looks like as an output versus unsupervised ones. You don't know what exactly the joker is. It doesn't give you a label, but then machine will sort of like categorize on its own because these two jokers look alike, so they put them together. So that's just a very superficial level of supervised learning, unsupervised learning. There's also reinforced learning. Again, your machine kind of learn based on reward or penalty. So let's say your robot is touching the fire and get hurt and knows that's something you shouldn't do. So similar idea. It kind of the algorithm kind of learn based on the reward or penalty it has been received. Okay. And notice now on the top circle, we've marched through AI, machine learning to deep learning, which is another subset. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning using a neural net with many layers. So basically, it's artificial neural networks. And then again, I will skip through all of those information because someone else with more knowledge of machine learning than me would cover those up. But then we would wonder, now we know, AI, machine learning, deep learning, how about the transformers or the generative AIs that are, we usually would use, especially GPT is LLM. So the differences would be transformer is basically a general purpose for the deep learning architecture. It's just someone published a paper back in 2017 that basically qualify or define those ones as transformer. It's deep learning architecture. We use this architecture to build sort of like LLM, which is a model trained for the language tasks specifically under this architecture. So those ones are, again, LLM is a large language, large scale deep learning models that's based on the transformer, which is the architecture, but is used for language task as a state of art in NLP, which is natural language processing. So it's the application that we want to use specifically for the language task. To summarize, basically, we have AI as the big shell, and we have machine learning. And then inside of machine learning, we have deep learning. And with deep learning, we have this transformer as architect. And then inside of that, under that architect, we've used LLM is a specific sort of a language relevant task, sort of like application of DL. So that's like level down. That's the basic of those ones. And we have 15 more minutes to talk about the applications. So again, we're here to use AI plus XR to build something, but when do you need to use them? Do we just randomly build stuff? Is it even necessary? So is it AI plus XR the superpower? Like I always say, the superpower as a need to overcome a physical limitation? Maybe it's not, maybe it is. So you might want to ask yourself, do you need spatial temporal, which is the space plus time features? This is the biggest thing that XR provides because it gives you the space and it gives you like a 3D environment. It also gives you the time. You can go beyond or backwards. And does it add virtual elements or environment support your physical life, task, or well-being? So for example, if with a computer desktop monitor is enough for me, why do I need XR? Maybe I need some virtual environment to interact with me in a 3D format that I kind of support my task or my well-being a little better. Then do you need an AI agent to understand human or the context environment better? So sometimes maybe as a more trained human being, as a physician, I know more than I do to treat a patient. Do I actually need an AI agent to support me either, during this context or the human to human understanding or the environment understanding? You might want to ask yourself, are those things that I actually need to use AI plus XR? So then coming back to the 4 case studies I was mentioning from my students, why they decided to use it. So the first one is enhancing remote collaboration in XR using GAZE plus LLM, because oftentimes GAZE, those multimodality communication cues we mentioned earlier in talks, speech talk, gestures, or eye gaze interactions, they're not segmented. When I talk, I look at somewhere, they're not segmented. So that's why when we are talking during we're having a conversation, do the gaze actually matter? So that's the first case study. The second case study is about audio-visual enhancement in the AI navigation system in VR. So oftentimes we use GPS, but we are holding the phone like a zombie, and we just run into people, run into traffic. So how do we use XR to potentially help us to navigate the wayfinding, like the first video you've seen earlier? So the third one is Voxy, which is a VR plus AI language app. Basically help you sort of like learn a different language. If you're in a different environment, you kind of want to order a sandwich. How do you actually order a sandwich in Italian? The last one is Pokemon TCG AR, which is basically AI voice command for gameplay. So again, some of my students are interested in using VR for a game for leisure. That would be one of the case studies that you can sort of like use if you're into those type of situation. So I'll quickly go through those examples. And for this specific example, Dr. Leah would give you a more sort of like diving into the machine learning LLM architecture kind of a model training information later on. So again, the background for the project is, how the remote collaboration when we don't see each other is lacking the real-time nonverbal cues, including talking, looking at each other, making a conversation, pointing at something, but it's disconnected. You can't see that if the person's not next to you. It's hard to figure out, what the person's talking about, especially on phone. You'll be like, hey, my left, I don't know where your left is. So this is probably when you need some sort of like spatial temporal featured prototype to help you sort it out what the other person's reference mean. And then VR enables immersive remote collaboration. It also gives you contextual-based language understanding. Even though we're all talking in English in different places, we're probably having a hard time understanding what exactly you're referring to. But this LLM would be able to sort of solve the issue for you. So this way, the prototype will be more intelligent and effective for collaboration. So I'll skip those details. Leah would sort of like go through the details more in terms of how LLM was built in there. But essentially, I'll show you the video of how the system looks like to improve the environment. Before that, I want to mention this in VR. So let's say we have 2 people in 2 different places, but we have to actually work on a task together. With all the cubes, they need to be on the shelf in the correct way. Remember one of the videos Mark showed earlier is that you're in a manufacturing kind of a factory situation where you need to pick up the right things. Essentially, that can be done by the robots, but the robots need to know where exactly it is controlled by the human. So assuming that's your environment, that you have a whole bunch of shelves and objects you need to put in the right place. So what do we do then? Let's just show you the video real quick.
Up in this area where I'm trying to look. Yeah. And that one is going to go first row. Oh yeah, with the blue things. First row right there. First row, second over. Interesting. Okay. Next one is okay, this one's kind of weird. This sort of looks like the Christmas tree, except it's got an empty space in it.
So you've noticed so many boxes, the person's having a hard time which one you're referring to. But the conversation is relevant,
No,
powered
it's
by
like a
machine
Christmas
learning,
tree it's a white Christmas tree within a black
relevant to
Christmas
the
tree.
environment.
Up here.
So now notice your gaze would
Okay.
point at
And that
wherever you
one
are looking
is
at.
going to go next to the cross. Yeah. On the right. Perfect. Okay.
So the conversation is actually highly relevant to the object they're talking about, trained by the machine learning. So the machine learning noticed the little spheres turning from yellow to green, yellow to blue. So it's basically signaling the other person, hey, I've captured your conversation. I know what you're talking about. This is where you should be looking at. This is what you should be doing. So that's generally speaking is, what this project is. Obviously, it looks very, in a way simple, but with the 5 days of, time you have, it's probably something very doable as a prototype, and you can progress from there, moving forward with the more of the work you want to do in the future. So the other one would be a multimodal interaction for enhancing navigation system in VR. So this work, let's just okay, so this work is because, as I mentioned earlier, when you are holding your phone, you are going through the traffic, and sometimes there are people like knocking you over, and you're looking at your phone, and you get lost in between, and there's like traffic lights and people and cars. You get very stressed out. So this project basically try to aim to use visual audio feedback to sort of like prioritize user attention based on the context. Sometimes when we're going across the road, maybe the red light would be the most important thing we want to know rather than, texting my mom back. So how do we use AI to navigate and to, use those multimodal video audio interactions to support people navigate? So here is another quick demo for you as well.
Okay. Wait, right, okay. Okay.
You notice beep, 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 beep sounds basically telling you where you need to pay attention to. Again, it's a prototype, so it doesn't have the perfect frequency or perfect sound feedback. And the arrow is basically pointing at where you should go based on the AI suggestion.
Oh. Yes, I should go like that. Okay.
It also says keep left, making sure you know the object is on the left. So this one doesn't have the feedback. So you've noticed you can only rely on the arrow. So she was trying to figure out using audio plus visual feedback, which one would be more efficient, how to prioritize people's users' attention.
Cool. Yeah. So next.
So this one has a little her original idea is to have a drone flying over, but obviously for the time being, you can't really have a drone. So she made a little overhead overview map similar to your GPS, but then with all those things together, with all the visual overlays and the audio overlays, which one would work for you?
Keep right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So the frequency changes more
The map.
target. Maybe if you drift off, they'll tell you to keep left.
Because the
right.
arrow arrow's okay.
again, it's a prototype, so it's not perfect. It doesn't really have, all the good stuff that you're expecting from a commercial product, but that would be something you would expect by the end of the winter school. And this is the Voxy, the language learning app. So this is the team. The reason why they're doing that is because they feel like, going to a different place, you might need someone to help you order the sandwich. So they put that into their scenario. They did mention, how they train the AI interaction, but I'm going to skip them just because for the sake of saving some time. I will make the slides available so you can actually look at the technical details later on. So let's just see the demo real quick.
All right, hi everyone. Welcome to our demo of Voxy language learning app. Today I'm going to take you through a quick run through of the user flow and how to use the app. So cool, I'm going to start by selecting from focus vocabulary, scenes, English proficiency, and avatar hostility as different options. I'm going to focus on introductions and payment today as topics I want to focus on. And then we've got two scenes here, the cafe and the car workshop. But I'm going to select cafe. I'm going to, select probably about in the middle for my English proficiency, maybe a little bit higher. And then avatar hostility, I'm going to keep that low. I want the avatar to be sort of patient, and I want to sort of correct a lot of my mistakes if it can. Cool, so I'm going to press done and start the level.
Hello, welcome to our cafe. What can I get for you today?
Hello, my name's Ethan. What do you have on offer today? Let's see how it responds. It might just take a second to load, so I'm just going to
notice there's time difference just because the model uses time to react. They kind of actually turn the speech to text speaking to a model, so it takes the time. Again, don't stress out if it takes like 1 minute for the
Nice
AI
to meet you, Ethan.
react.
We have a variety of coffee drinks, teas, and sandwiches. Our specialty is a new seasonal latte. It's a popular item. Would you like to try it?
Yes, please. Very big, thanks. Okay, let's see if it understands what I'm trying to say here.
You're welcome, Ethan. I'll get that made for you. So, would you like to sit inside or outside by the window?
Can I sit inside, please? But can I also order a sandwich? Can you tell me what types of sandwiches you have?
We have a few options. Our most popular is the club sandwich. It's a classic with turkey, bacon, and avocado. We also have a vegetarian option with hummus and cucumber, and a grilled cheese for a lighter choice. Would you like to try one of those?
Cool, so I'm going to deliberately try and mess this up so that the app can pick up on the bad grammar. Me eat sandwich club. And I'll see if it can understand what I'm trying to say there and correct me maybe.
You mean the club sandwich. I'll add that to your order. So, to confirm, I have a large latte and a club sandwich for you, correct?
That's correct, cool. Because that's the last prompt, it's going to come up with level finished and next. So I'm going to press next and we can see our score. Cool, so we've got 180 points as our score for that run through. Press next again, and then this is just some feedback we got here. So it's correcting us on 3 grammar errors that it picked up. We had an average response time of about 1 second, which makes about sense. And it's ranked at about 80% relevance to the conversation. Cool, and then it's selected one error to sort of talk about here, and that's verb conjugation. We can see here we've got feedback where it's chosen the club sandwich line, and it's corrected it on how to apply proper verb conjugation. I'll have the sandwich club, and it's given reasoning. So let's see. The sentence lacks a verb and indicates the action of ordering. Cool. So yeah, it's corrected it there. So I can press done, and we'll be taken back to main menu. Awesome.
So notice from the earlier one, there is a delay in between, when the person's finished talk to the other AI agent started talking. It's very, very common. Don't stress out if you see the delay. It's just because most of the people use speech to text, sort of like you have to turn from speech to text and then feed the text to GPT or whatever language model they're using conversation GPT. And then produce the result. From that result, you have to turn from text back to speech. So there's a delay, especially if you use the bigger model. Leah will talk more about how to build lightweighted model with Wang's project that I talked earlier, the first project. We will talk about how to sort of like make a lightweighted machine learning model instead of using the whole GPT that can be, on the cloud. It takes time to convert and it takes time to query the cloud and it takes time to refer back versus you can build a local lightweighted model inside of your device that can reduce the time of responding. So that would be one of the things we'll talk about later on. So here is their AI architecture from, how they use the user speech to use whisper to translate it into text and use conversation and then use Piper basically to build the workflow of your the conversation you just had earlier. Okay. So the last one, we're pretty much running out of time. I'll show you the last one. It's a small game that the students built. So they basically have those AI command to summon the Pokemon. Let me just make sure it's working. Wait a second. Maybe it's dead again. So basically what happens is they have the QR code to track their environment. And this person says, summon my Pokemon, and you have your Pokemon that it gives you some sort of like a speech command instead in terms of how I want to fight my Pokemon. It will start to do the virtual overlays to fight your Pokemon. So the general idea they have right here, just make sure it's collecting, okay. So the general idea they have over here is to basically sort of like reduce the GPT from actually understanding the whole sentences. They kind of built some pre-defined conversations. So the GPT knows exactly what to query, what to do. So that combines with the XR. They use HoloLens combined with the XR to basically track your environment, to summon the virtual content you want it to summon using speech commands. So those are the simple projects for students to build within a week to couple months, 3 months time. So other project my teams are currently looking at is we're trying to, hire people, interns or students to do those projects. We have some ideas that Tamil will showcase more of the ideas that you can potentially build for your project. AI agent to automate asynchronized XR tasks using LLM-based model, or use virtual reality-based emotion intelligence intervention for children with autism spectrum or disorder. This is one of the projects I've been doing with the psychology department in RMIT. We're trying to build some VR things similar to the emotion agent we were talking about earlier in one of those cases. How it's sort of like focus on, the scene. If let's say we're in the shopping scenario, some of the people might have like issue with loud talkers next to you or people who are fighting over tomatoes. So how do we sort of like generate this type of a scene to have a more sort of like an emotion intervention for people with certain needs? And then also using emotion-free machine learning training to physiological data to superpower input. So you don't necessarily have to point or talk. Maybe you think about something and you set a fire somewhere. That could be something we could do in the future, obviously, potentially in the 5 days time, but maybe in the long term as well. So sorry for being a little bit over time, 3 more minutes. The next after lunch, we'll have Tamil focus purely on the hardcore technical. I was just giving you an overview of the high level information, but Tamil will focus on the hardcore technical content. Leah will also talk about, how the LLM was trained to a lightweighted model in your local devices rather than using the cloud-based full GPT. So we'll focus on that, and we'll also give you some ideas to brainstorm, and then you can move forward to, build your own project, pick your right person, pick the right, team and build your project. So hopefully that will help you. Thank you so much, and sorry for being so fast. Hopefully it'll help you with your project as well. Oh, yes, if you guys have any questions, sorry, I was just speeding through. Do you guys have any questions or in terms of the projects or anything you kind of want to, again, I'll be here all the way until Wednesday. So just feel free to talk to me if you're curious about one of those projects. We have like 12 projects listed in a sheet that Timeo and I made together. So you will also be able to brainstorm some of your project later on as well if you don't have any questions right now. I know it's 12 o'clock, everyone's hungry, so I'll release you to eat food. Thank you so much.